Hello there, MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today we're going to continue our Dark Horizon skin series. Let's call it that, in which we're showcasing the new skins and the champions who got those skins in not exactly brand new decks necessarily, but at least updated decks. Because today we're going to play YASUO, but we're finally going to take YASUO out of Targon, which, let's be real, it sucks, right? Like, yeah, we got Malphite, and the synergy between Malphite and YASUO is very cool and all, but the reality is Malphite is very underwhelming, and honestly, YASUO with Targon, this meta is too fast for it, and it's just too rigid as a region combination for that specific archetype. But YASUO with Noxus is low-key legit, ladies and gentlemen. It's actually very, very good. I devised a version of the deck that does wonders against the meta. You can actually climb ranked with this deck. So let me explain what Edgy here is all about. I also like to call it Cosmic Conquest because we are, of course, using the new skin for YASUO, the Cosmic Zephyr. Zephyr or Zephyr? A or B? Let me know in the comment section down below so I can improve my English and maybe talk properly. We have the new art for YASUO, which looks absolutely sick, especially his leveled up version. I'm a big fan of this art. It brings out the 12-year-old within me and makes me very excited to play this deck as we are combining YASUO with Swain, two of my favorite all-time champions. You know, maybe even competing with the likes of Rally in one same deck is just a dream come true, man. I've had so much fun recording this video and so much fun playing this deck in general. I was very surprised. Like, it exceeded my expectations, and I'm very proud of how I have tweaked the deck in order to adapt well to the meta, because it adapts wonderfully. The reason why we adapt really well is, even though YASUO Swain is not a new combination, I have incorporated some tools that really help us out, right? First of all, a full set of Death Lotus. This does two things. First of all, it allows us to survive against aggressive decks. That's the main purpose it's fulfilling. English. As we're able to use this against Draven Jinx Discard, Spider Aggro, Azir Darius Aggro as well, and of course against Azir Irelia to stay alive. But this also helps us level up Swain easier, because that's really important, because when we combine Swain with Ionia doesn't really provide much when it comes to Swain's level up. Besides YASUO though, YASUO does help out Swain. If we have YASUO on the board and we start stunning stuff and we ping them for 2 damage, then we are helping the Swain level up. And of course, once we leveled up Swain, if we start stunning the opponent's back row enemies, whenever we damage the enemy nexus, then we will trigger YASUO and clear up their board. So that's why these two champions work really well together. But you have to come to terms with the fact that some games you're not going to draw YASUO. Some games you're going to draw YASUO is going to die immediately, right? Because your opponent's going to have the perfect answer. So you have to be able to level up Swain outside of that. Obviously, the Leviathan really comes into play in that regard. You don't play Swain without the Leviathan. It is the prime finisher. It is how we end games. But there are some other neat tools, and Death Lotus does help us out in that regard. It gives us a very cheap play that, especially against aggressive decks, can help us level up Swain by dealing 1 damage to all battling units and even to our own blockers to promote the level up as well. Sometimes you have to, think deep in that regard and utilize your house spiders like the big body or the arachnoid sentry, not the Throne of the Rose, but the 2 health units to actually sponge a little bit of the damage from Death Lotus to help your Swain level up. But that's a bit more of a complex aspect of the deck that a lot of times you don't really have to think about that stuff. Regardless, we have that. We have access to Culling Strike, another very good anti-meta tool, very good against Thresh Nasus because it allows us to kill Thresh. I was gonna say Thassus. It allows us to kill Thresh for 3 mana, and Thresh costs 5 mana himself. So that actually gives us a net value or tempo of 2 mana, which is really, really important and taking down a very key component of their strategy. And then also Culling Strike takes, man, I'm having trouble pronouncing. Culling Strike trades evenly with Azir. And it's actually the only card in the game, I believe, that does this. For 3 mana, they play Azir. For 3 mana, you can remove it. I don't think there's any other 3 mana card besides Culling Strike in the game that can do this to Azir. And that's really important. Even though Culling Strike, the reason why we're not playing this as a 3-of is because outside of that, it doesn't synergize with our champions. It doesn't promote Swain's level up nor YASUO's, which is why I refrain from using 3 copies of it. regardless or despite the fact that it is as good as it is. And instead, we're running a 3 of Death's Hand. This card is really neat. It helps us progress Swain's level up by 1/4. And it also helps us trigger a leveled up Yasuo with leveled up Swain on the board as we ping the Nexus for 1. And it's just really reliable, helps us out against aggressive decks, helps us enable Ravenous Flock, and it's just a staple for Swain decks. As we have a one-off of Noxian Fervor that can be a good finisher and potentially help us level up Swain, because if it does not get disrupted, we also are able to advance Swain's level up by half, right? Thorn of the Rose is one of the cards that has really promoted this archetype and made it much better than it was before, because the ability to play this on curve is really important, because you can play Thorn of the Rose on turn 3, and then you can play Yasuo on turn 4, and after you play Yasuo, you can play the Guile that you generated from Thorns of the Rose. This is important because Arachnoid Sentry on curve doesn't accomplish this. Arachnoid Sentry on curve, before you play Yasuo, makes you miss out on potential value. But Thorns of the Rose avoids that. And it's also really good against Demacia mid-range decks as well, so it just helps out a lot. But one of the other very key cards in this deck is Spirit's Refuge. This card is the reason why I win the majority of my games, because this meta is so fast. The game is in a state where decks are like faster than ever, really. Even though we've had stages of like Noxus build over burn in the past, there's a lot of decks that go really fast. And there's a lot of different implications and reasons as to why this is, mainly because of power creep, but also because of the nature of Shurima, just the only aspects of it really being aggro that are working right now. And it's just really fast, right? So we have to keep up with that pace, and we have to design our decks accordingly. And Spirit's Refuge allows us to protect our engines, like Yasuo, from potential removal, and also get our lifesteal back. Spirit's Refuge, in conjunction with some, not only with an attack or a block from Yasuo, but also with some stun effects, allows us to get health from those swings as well, in case you were wondering. And it's a very, very important card in this deck that really does make the difference. As we're running a one-off of Intimidating Roar and a one-off of Dragon's Rage. These are kind of like our champion's special Omaiwo Mushin Daru moves, Intimidating Roar being that for Yasuo, which allows us, to go 12-year-old mode and start swinging our arms around as if it were swords as we wipe out the opponent's swarm. And Dragon's Rage can be used as a finisher with leveled up Swain, which is absolutely sick because we're able to trigger the Nexus Strike and deal a shitload of damage. We deal 3 damage to our entire board, plus 4 onto the intended target, and 7 to the Nexus, which is glorious. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the deck list right there. A one-off of Homecoming for Nasus and other, high-end threats, while also helping us level up Yasuo quicker, because it does actually level up Yasuo by 40%. And yeah, that's basically all there is to this deck. Also, big shout outs to Nopify, absolute staple in Ionia right now. It's too good in this meta. There's too many things to actually counter with this. I would spend like minutes talking about that. So just take my word for it. Nopify, very good. Thank you for coming to my tech talk. And thank you for enduring this deck tech. It wasn't that long, right? I explained everything about the deck. Regarding the mulligans, always keep Yasuo, mulling away Swain and Leviathan, because you can draw those later down the line, and these high-end cards as well. Depending on Intimidating Roar, you can keep if you're facing a Storm deck. And generally try to find your early curve, and if you're facing aggro, really fish for Death Lotus. Culling Strike, very important against Azir Irelia, etc., etc. Just try to play into the curve and not have too many spells and find some early units. And you should be good to go. So yeah, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for daily Legends of Runeterra content. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. I think today's gameplay is pretty sick. And I'm going to stop talking. Have a good one. Enjoy the matches. I'll see you tomorrow. And of course, round 1, we face aggro. Man, there's so much aggro in this meta. It's insane. It's insane. The game is so fast. So fast. Let's drop the Leviathan and the Nopify. Let's keep the House Spider and the Ravenous Flock. And we have Yasuo, that's pretty good. And Death Lotus. Very nice. So one of the things though, if the game gets slowed down, which a lot has to happen in order for that to be the case. If the game does happen to slow down, then we have an issue with decks like the Watcher mainly, and other combo decks, right? But mainly the Watcher, because this is like the fact that this game is so fast right now is actually holding the Watcher back. People don't realize just how oppressive that deck truly can be if we face more if we go back to more fun ways, right? Like I don't want to say like the game is unfun right now. Like I'm enjoying myself and I like building decks and everything. But the fact is, every single deck that I make has to adapt to this crazy fast-paced like nature, and that's really limiting. From a deck building perspective, that's really limiting, and I don't think it's as fun. This House Spider is amazing here. That's why I'm playing House Spider, because it's a good aggro counter. And just a phenomenal 2-drop in general. That allows us to just block into this perfectly. It's glorious. I want to play a Thorn of the Rose next, because this gives me the ability to play Yasuo and remove something next turn.
Everything's easier behind a mask.
This can also block into a Zir and knock it out in one hit, which is important. I love that Spirit's Refuge there as well. And we actually drew really well for this matchup.
We love it when they run.
Is a leaf's only purpose to fall?
I'm gonna play Yasuo. I'm going to take a little bit of damage here. I have Spirit's Refuge anyways, but I want to start getting like actual value out of this. You could have a Battle Bond as well, so I don't necessarily want to block with Yasuo.
Wrap them up tight.
But if he doesn't have it, he's really thinking about attacking here, which means that he probably doesn't have buffs. Because he's really thinking about attacking with everything else. How much damage are we looking at here? Down to 12. With Spirit's Refuge is acceptable. Acceptable.
Find a gift for an action, right, Arda?
Some things never dull.
Boom, boom. I'm gonna attack like this. I'm damaging this because if he decides to, if he gets greedy and tries to drag in my Yasuo with the Merciless Hunter, I can Ravenous block. Oh. Not a good call. That's great. That's great. Being able to counter their Noxian Fervor like that is fantastic. We gotta keep that in mind when we go for stuff like Spirit's Refuge. It's down to 4 cards.
I'll handle this myself.
If I do this onto Darius, let's actually pass.
That's right. Run!
My God. I face my fate. Your turn.
I feel like this is the turn to play the Leviathan. We have the Ravenous Flock.
The desert by my side.
I'm gonna pass. He needs to attack. Right now, this Death Lotus protects us.
Arda's gonna make a meal of them.
Destination in sight.
Now we set the blocker because we still have the Death Lotus plus the Ravenous Flock. Down to 3 cards.
Wrap 'em up tight.
That's fine.
Sand and blood! Return fire!
I don't see what card combination, like unless he has 2 Noxian Fervors, which can really punish this here. I'm going for the Death Lotus. I'm gonna block with the. I mean, I don't even know if I should be blocking with the Leviathan, to be fair, but just in case something wacky happens. Yeah.
For Noxus! Our sun press on.
Fire!
Empire!
Above all!
By my hand.
Will Noxus rise? There we go. That's how you do it.
Raise the Noxtora!
Remember this day.
Game!
Alright, Shyvana with Aurelion Soul. No Zoe though. Triple Aurelion Soul. I don't, like I said, I don't really like that approach. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep these 2. Because Arachnoid Sentry, Ravenous Flock is pretty neat. Calling Strike could be good as well, depending on the situation. Like, we can play into a sharp side is the problem, right? Alright.
Let's make this a night to remember.
Thrones of the Rose is a really strong card against them.
This is the fun part.
Yeah, alright. He's playing Star Shaping, interesting. So this is a really good card against them because they don't have pings. So this 5 attack is really powerful. And now whatever they play, like if they play a Shyvana with just Arachnoid Sentry. I'm gonna play this anyways, just because I want to keep flooding the board. Yeah.
Follow my lead.
Stack again. They could try to single combat here, in which case we will go for Spirit Refuge. We're gonna go for the second Ravenous Flock here. If he goes for a single combat, then we'll go for the Spirit's Refuge. That also allows us to, you know, progress the level up. We're at Guile because this stops a judgment.
Sit tight and shut up.
All right. Get that out of him. And now triple Leviathan. Try to finish out the game.
Prepare the cargo!
Alright. Oh, that's two. That's two concerted strikes. So let's see how another one works.
Conquest!
For a bar! I guess that does it. We smoked them. Good job, Yasuo. Alright, discard aggro. We have Death Lotus, which is a really neat card for this matchup. We're gonna do a full mulligan because we want to find these answers. Spirit's Refuge is also really neat. I love seeing the House Spider that can help us out early on. Ravenous Flock is always a nice sight. Like, the only card here is Leviathan. It's a little bit early for it, but everything else I'm happy with. Like I said, Death Lotus is pretty ideal.
The sun rock got me good. Terracotta.
Alright. There's Yasuo.
Striking looks and stunning wit.
Ooh.
I salute you!
It's a strong hit to take, but everything else can be shot down.
Poor.
Death is like the wind.
Always by my side.
Reporting in? Some things never dull.
Oh, it is a great day for a reckoning! That's my voice!
Anything helps.
Welcome to try. Just need a second.
I'll give you to the count of
My kind of lesson.
got me. Yeah.
answer's here somewhere. I wonder.
Life and death on the blade's edge.
Just you and me, fish bones. And them.
Okay, so I have 9, so I can't do all these.
I will follow this path until the end.
Nice. Just slicing planets. That's what these guys do. Zed and Yasuo, they just slice planets.
The people are my strength.
That's a lot to take in. Yeah, I can't really do much about this. I think I may have to.
I'll do better this time. Hope you brought friends.
Wish I had one more mana to do that sand hand to finish this off.
My kind of
Now it's a party.
Okay, that Steel Tempest is good. Let's go with the that's him.
It's Raven time.
A conquest for empire.
I gotta play Leviathan.
I'm on the verge of something. Immerse yourself in the unknown.
Man, he kept top decking these experimenters. That's my one gripe with this deck. It's like it's so high rolly. It's so high rolly. Like if you just keep drawing experimenters off the top, then you just keep refueling, right?
The sun's out, the crowd's ready. Let's wreck it!
So if you don't find them, then you run out of gas, and it's unfortunate. Yeah, this is. GG. That's upsetting. Like this deck's power level goes from like 10 to like 900 if it draws experimenters like back to back. Keep in mind, you know, they've drawn through a good portion of their deck, but still, like they kept finding it, man. All right, let's try to get some revenge. Let's see if they don't draw as many experimenters at the right moment. We got the Death Lotus in the opener this time around, and we're gonna keep everything else. The Death's Hand is useful. Hello. Alright. This deck is so high rolling, man. It's like, it's 0 or 100. Some games it just doesn't go off. Like there, you know, it's just a Zonite Yurkin, right? Like he actually didn't find any discard outlets. So his opener is like significantly weakened because it's not just this hit. It's the potential crowd favorite on curve as well that gets weakened.
Oh, it is a great day for a reckoning.
I disagree. That's why we keep that sand.
The sun rock got me good.
Jury rig. Beautiful.
Terra coin.
Motherfucker. I shouldn't have emoted. God damn it. Attack me!
Anything else?
Yeah, I'll take it. God damn it. Don't emote, guys. That's a great lesson. Do not emote. Do not emote. I thought the attack was going. It's just because he drew into a 1-drop. How frustrating is that?
I go where the road takes me.
Well, it's fine. We still got rid of half of the. I mean, we should have been able to get rid of all their board.
Party has arrived.
Some things never
Does he have a rummage?
It's Raven time.
Looking good, kid.
I mean, I could have another one. I can't believe that happened. Like, the only reason he stopped is because, oh, I drew another 1-drop. I'm gonna play another 1-drop, and then he hesitated because I fucking emoted. I'm never emoting again. I am never emoting again. And now you attack with everything? Really? Now? Okay.
welcome to try.
That's frustrating. Just don't emo, guys. Just don't do it. It's a waste of time. It's only gonna do bad things for you. Just stay silent. Don't give away information. Ugh.
Life and death on the blade's edge.
Does he do this?
Rules are made to be broken, like buildings or people.
You should try blinking sometime.
Glory, courage, excuses for war.
I'm on the verge of something. Immerse yourself.
I'll give you to the count of like that.
Fallen leaf.
Autographs after the fight, kid.
Autographs after. Oh god.
I'm actually gonna play the Arachnoid Sentry because I want to keep Notify for next turn because I do want to play Leviathan because I can Dragon's Rage him. Man, I am absolutely never emoting again until like the game is over. I learned my lesson. I absolutely learned my lesson. Oh my god, that has to be like the biggest punish ever. And all because he drew that 1-drop, right? Because otherwise he just, you know, because the attack was completed. Like I thought the attack was completed. Again, I want to keep this Notify because I mean he can't possibly.
Now it's a party.
Order, sir. Bring
Fourth Thought Army.
station. Leave them nothing.
I'm gonna keep Swain here.
How easy on the hands than you? This is gonna hurt for you. Hey, buddy, what you doing?
The plan is to finish him with Dragon's Rage. Alright, counter this with Notify. And now, you know what? Now that I'm safe, I'll emote. Now I will. because he has no more cards in hand. Get the fuck out of here.
Got me.
Get wrecked. Now we'll stun 2 of these.
Fire! Victory awaits. Artillery barrage. Need for nothing.
God, I love Swain. And now we're gonna go out in style. Top deck of Jinx. Top deck of Jinx. Or an experimenter. Like every fucking time they do it. Okay, okay.
I wonder.
Alright. Alright. Get Muay Thai kick, motherfucker. Bleed for Noxus!
Raise the Noctora.
Remember this day! More aggro. I'm telling you, man, everybody's just playing aggro. God damn, dude. I'm gonna keep the House Spider and the Arachnoid. No, the Arachnoid Sentry we can mulligan away as well. Like we do want to find, like, Yasuo is really good in this matchup, but we also want to find Spirit's Refuge. If we see like a turn 2 at least, I will Culling Strike. Okay, there we go. That's neat. I have no blockers for this. I don't want to take so much damage from the get-go, right? So I am going to Culling Strike. This Notify is important to counter Noxian Fervor. I love that Intimidating Roar. Wait, if I pass over and I do this, next turn I can Intimidating Roar plus Notify. So let's pass for now. Let's see what they do. Yeah, because that's another fearsome unit anyways. What if I play this now? If I play this now, I carry over 1 mana, then 4, then 5. I can't do that plus Notify, so I'm gonna pass.
Where's my
Okay, now I do need to. Now I do need to. Because I can't take extra damage from this.
I pull the strings.
Follow the wind.
Watch your back. Alright.
Okay, ready.
Really? Are you sure about that?
We could use
The
a
hell?
bite.
You're gonna sacrifice Elise?
Welcome to try.
Alright, let's walk over here. That gives me...
So young.
Problem with this Intimidating Roar, like I said, is that it, they could have a Vile Feast.
Blade never gets any lighter.
Let me attack first. Let me see if my opponent makes a mistake. Okay, so next turn I'm gonna have a total of 6 mana. 6 plus 9 allows me to do this and this. Oh, that's too good, right? So if we play you and we clear one of these, then we can potentially block into you and you. Man, I could just clear his board. The problem is a Noxian Fervor counters this. That's why I didn't want to play the House Spider.
decide my fate.
Now we go for it.
I follow only one path.
My own. I have to respect the Noxian Fervor. I have to respect it.
Let's make this a night to remember.
Life and death on the blade's edge.
The team is here, ladies and gentlemen. How cool do they look, man? Bam, bam, bam.
If they don't break,
Don't burn. Alright, nice. We get the Death's Hand here to counter.
Their time has come. Such little lies.
Ha! Ha 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 ha! Bitch! Beautiful. Beautiful. It would have been so sick to go for the Intimidating Roar earlier, but like I said, I'm happy with how I played.
Blade never gets any lighter.
Right, good luck with that burst speed unit. GG. For Noxus!
Praise the Noctora.
He says the same thing every time, man. The same quote.